Test. Test. Why am I echoing? Test. 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 Test.
Test, test.
Test.
Focus, you moron! Focus, you moron!
One sec, Trick. Microphone. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I was muted. Sorry.
There we go.
Can you hear me?
Give me 1 second. I'll close the store. kids. Where's the rest of the dum-dums?
Well, Yill's not joining us. I don't know about Daryl because he said he thinks one of his kids broke his arm.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, I haven't gotten a message about that one yet.
And he said he wasn't feeling too good either.
Yeah, he was coming off a strep this week. Good lord, I want to lose my mind today. It's gonna happen.
And Alex is always late. Thank you, my dear.
Oh dear Jesus.
Sounds like you got a dog barking.
Yes, because they're feeding the dogs. The littlest one is the most annoying thing in the world, and then my wife is babysitting because my sister-in-law is supposed to be having her my other nephew this week. They're inducing her on Tuesday morning.
So why is she babysitting now?
So they can get everything around and finish cleaning the house without one munchkin running around destroying it.
Okay, fair enough. You gonna mess with your backgrounds?
Yeah, I don't care about blurring it. Honestly, it just looks really weird right now.
No, I'm just watching you go through the different changes.
Yeah, I was just messing with it. There we go. I want to see the full video feed. Why are we doing this? Oh, give me the give me the wide angle. Thank you. You keep changing it. Is that you?
I'm not changing anything. My camera's not gonna be on Skype. It's only gonna be on Twitch. Because apparently you have an XSplit open. Skype won't let you use the camera.
No, it won't. You can only use the camera on one source. So you have to get a second camera if you wanted to utilize both.
Yeah, I know. Not ready to invest in a second camera yet.
Please leave your message for...
You would think after 538 episodes they would know what time to show up.
You're still talking about Gamescom?
Yeah, if you want to go through that real quick and see which ones you want to talk about. Did you watch it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Me and Daryl actually talked about it on Thursday.
Okay,
And then
yeah.
he said you guys already did a Patreon episode on it.
Yep. That nobody's listened to because nobody's signed up for Patreon.
Yep.
I'm not bitter about it at all.
Hey, our Patreon is slowly dwindling, if it makes you feel any better.
Well, yeah, ours was going strong for a while, and then everybody's like, then COVID hit, and everybody's like, oh, I got to pull my thing because it's not making as much money. I was like, totally understand, no problem. Like, oh, we'll be back after COVID. I see we have a couple people in the chat already. Nitro and Rick, how are you? We're just waiting on Alex. We don't know where he is. He always runs late. Just brought up the chat, so if anybody's been typing anything, I haven't seen it. Oh, Alice is calling me now. Hold on. Stand by. All right, so Zach, we got to fill a little bit of time.
That's fine.
I'm gonna record. Maybe we'll do this Patreon stuff. Rick is in the chat. I'm good, man. Nitro says I'm all right. And then Rick wants to talk to Nitro. Oh, fine. Don't talk to us, Rick. It's not like we're the stars of the show or anything. Ugh. So I guess you're a Power Rangers fan there, Zach.
Yeah, that's not even.
Well, I was talking more about the Green Ranger one.
Yeah, that's not even all of it.
I tried for so long a couple years ago to get the dragon sword.
Say I'm painting miniatures as we speak.
I wanted to get the dragon sword from Comic-Con a couple years ago, but they were all sold out.
Expensive. I just introduced Daryl to something kind of fun. It's Whatnot. It's like a eBay mixed with Twitch. It's like if eBay and Twitch had a baby.
Okay.
Live auctions. Like so, you essentially stream, you build a community on there, and then you can sell certain games. Like a lot of I've noticed a lot of game like stores that actually have brick and mortar shops are doing it now.
Gotcha.
Like I picked up, I just picked up a sealed copy. My first sealed older game. I picked up a sealed copy of. It was WCW Backstage Brawl. It was.
No. Rick,
currently Backstage Assault.
Something just fell on your end.
Yep. Yeah, there's two children running around my house. That does not surprise me.
Matt G's in the chat. How you doing, Matt G? Rick, I'm not gaming anything right now, but if I was, I'd be playing The Division, of course. All right. Alex is here.
He is.
So we can get rid of this.
Tricky.
Yes, sir.
Alex.
Did you call Yield?
Yield is
Yield's
not coming.
joining us.
Yield's not coming.
He's not coming. He's at a birthday party.
When did he say that?
Well, he said that to me earlier this week, but he said that don't count on him. And I called him earlier and I asked him if he was gonna make it. He said it doesn't look good.
All right.
So it's just gonna be the three of us. I tried to get Daryl, but apparently Daryl has some not feeling too good, and had a
He
family,
had strep all week.
and then he had a family matter to attend to.
All right.
And we're live on Twitch right now, so just so you're aware.
All right. Well, I'm sure I'm not going to say anything too terrible that I can't be said on Twitch.
As long as you don't say the R word, S, the word that's a 4-letter word, and it goes S and then I and then M and then P. Can't say that either.
You can't say that word on Twitch anymore?
No, you cannot.
Are you kidding me?
Not even a little bit.
No.
Yep.
When did that start?
It's considered hateful. I just got told about it a couple months ago.
Wow, I never heard that.
Shows how much time we've spent on Twitch. We don't even know when they. How do they relay that information? Do they actually put that information out in press releases, or?
Yes, they do. Whenever there's an update to their systems, they put that out.
Yeah, but see, I also find it funny. I don't know if you caught this, Zach. While we're waiting for Alice to get set up.
I am set up.
Rick said it in the chat. Did you read the update on that we're allowed to stream on other platforms now if you're an associate?
As long as you are sending people to Twitch's platform.
Okay, so here's the funny thing. They say that you're not allowed to stream to two. You can't stream from Twitch, and if you're an affiliate, you cannot stream to Facebook or to YouTube at the same time.
That's correct, because
But
you can be monetized on those two platforms, so
right.
their affiliate contracts are different.
But you can stream to TikTok and to Instagram while you're on Twitch.
Yes, because those platforms aren't built for building revenue off of video streams, so you have to actively be trying to send people to Twitch.
And who owns Instagram?
Facebook.
Right.
Facebook and Google.
So in a way, you are sending them to Facebook.
Not really.
Yes, Rick. Rick wants to know if he's allowed to say Xbox in the chat yet. Yes, you are. I don't know why he blocked you that time.
Phil Spencer. And Phil we trust.
All right, so everybody's got their recording up?
Oh, you want me to record in the background too?
Yes.
Let me open Audacity real quick. Oh dear Lord, the children are going to drive me absolutely insane.
Rick, I would say what you said in the chat above, but apparently I'm not allowed to say that on Twitch anymore.
All right, I'm recording in the background. We're good.
All right, Alex, start recording. I am recording.
I am recording.
And Zach, you are recording?
Yes, sir.
All right. 5 seconds of silence. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You are listening to Trophy Horse with your hosts, Tricky Mick, Alex, I Yield to No One,
Steve.
And Sid.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Trophy Wars. This episode 538. I'm your host, Tricky Mick. Alongside me, the man, the myth, the legend. It's Alex.
Was there supposed to be intro music there?
Did you guys not hear the intro music?
All we heard was "damn" twice.
Really?
Yeah.
Did the chat hear the intro music? I'm waiting for a response. You know what? Chat, did you hear the intro music? Yes, they heard the intro music. You guys didn't hear it?
No. What we heard of was essentially the countdown for Rocket League, but to start matches, or I guess for tip-offs. But yeah, no, I didn't hear anything.
Wait. Hold on a second. Just test.
Focus, you moron!
Did you guys hear that?
Yes.
Okay, that's because I had the wrong Skype microphone on. All right, the man, the myth, the legend, it's Alex.
Sorry I had to bust up your intro there.
No, you're fine.
I'm just trying to make sure everything's cool. You know?
it's never cool on this show.
Yield is not with us this week as he's attending a children's birthday party, but we do have the bearded nerd. It's Zach.
Cheers, everybody.
Yeah, you might.
I fucking hate you, Zach. And you did that on purpose, too, because you was smiling the entire time.
Cheers.
We found out that Yield's like side job was he was a like a performer at children's birthday parties, like he was like a clown or something like that.
Zach, Rick says you are one sexy mofo, and he says, Tricky, you looking good so far, or looking good, sir. We would see Alex, but he decides not to use his camera ever.
Well, I also, decide not to use my camera because it's going to likely slow down the computer and may freeze the computer, and then I'll have to shut down and reboot and start all over again. So I'd just rather not go with that nonsense.
Well, good news for you, sir. I formatted one of my 14 extra laptops, and I'm going to be sending it to you soon.
Almost. That's very. Wait. Hold on. Was this one of these ones that was acquired through?
No.
Am I gonna
No.
get
No.
tracked
No.
down
No.
these
No. You don't know
laptops?
nothing. You don't know nothing.
I'm just. We could talk about this off camera, but
Is this
I
an
hope
offer
it's
incident?
hope it's a camera or a computer that I'm not gonna get tracked down or on some list for getting.
No. Hold on a second. Sweet Mama D. Sorry. Oh, Alex, you're not even going to be able to see it. Unless you go to Twitch. Go to Twitch real quick.
I'm at Twitch.
Not you. But thank you for being on Twitch. Are you in the chat? Yes, I see you in the chat. Wait. Yeah. Hand me the laptop that's on that table right there.
Please?
Panal.
Please?
So, that is a very cool laptop, Alex.
I can't see, but I'll take your word for it.
I told you to go to Twitch.
Yeah, but that didn't happen.
All right, I'll take a picture and I'll send it to you. But yes, Zach, how are you doing, sir?
I'm here.
You're here.
It's been a week.
It's Rick wants to know, is Yield moonlighting as John Wayne Gacy?
Yes.
I didn't mean to drive people in that direction with my clown comment earlier, but I guess we'll find out someday on a Hulu or a Peacock special.
No, joke's on you. He's the new lead in Terrifier 2.
What is Terrifier 2?
Have you never seen it's a corny horror movie about a clown. It's like almost like he's completely silent, doesn't make any doesn't talk, doesn't do anything. He just has a really weird smile, like he just does the whole time.
I have never ever heard this before.
You should watch it. It's kind of corny, but it's pretty good.
What platforms is it available on?
I will let you know while Tricky moves on.
Yeah, let's go to our updated trophy count. I am level 683, total trophies of 16,773 with 372 platinums. Alex?
Yeah, we really need you to pump those numbers up there, Tricky, because apparently the US ain't doing too well when it comes to the amount of trophies we're earning.
I blame the haters, a.k.a. Homer, a.k.a. Nitro, a.k.a. Levi.
Did you send me the agenda?
Yes, I sent you the agenda.
Are you sure? Because
I'm positive.
the last one I have here in my email is 814.
Bum, bum, bum.
I sent it to you. I'm looking at it right now.
I don't have it.
Hold on.
Bum, bum, bum. You never have it. You didn't have it last time either.
Ooh.
Wait, no. Last time you had your notes.
All right. It was all right. So Alex, I'm gonna send it to you on Facebook real quick.
Why don't you just read my trophies off? Let's say this. Let's quash this whole hullabaloo and just.
You are at level 468, a total trophies of 8,062 with 127 platinums and 126 games. Yield is level 479 with total trophies of 8,732 with 156 platinums. Sid is level 673 with 15,128 platinums. When that mofo got more platinums, he's over 400. He's got 403. I'm about to slow him down. Zach
is a level 138 with 484 total trophies and no platinums.
You did say the last time we were on the show that the next platinum you get, you were...
I was hoping it would be Spider-Man. But
Yes.
so when the PlayStation Premium service changed up, they had Spider-Man on the service for 1 day. They have not put it back on the PC version, so I've not been able to touch it again.
Well, you can get the for PC now, right?
Yeah, but it'd be on Steam. I wouldn't be able to get a platinum trophy in it.
So the games that are on Steam, you can't get PlayStation trophies.
No. You get Steam achievements.
Well, I know that, but I thought maybe they had because doesn't Microsoft have their games?
They're different when you download them from the Xbox application. They're still linked to your account. Yeah.
I mean, I know we skipped up. We didn't do the topic last week, but they're apparently PlayStation is possibly launching their own PlayStation not PlayStation PC app for PC launcher. We didn't talk about it last week, but apparently PlayStation there's something in the code of Spider-Man which indicates that PlayStation is going to be launching their own PC launcher soon.
I haven't heard anything about that. I know I have the only thing I use it for is the only thing I use on my PC PlayStation wise is PlayStation Premium.
And Spider-Man's not on Plus,
not the original, and I think they took it off of there because of the PC release. So it would counteract them making money on PC if you could just pay the $15 for a month to play it.
But wasn't that part of wasn't that announced as part of one of the games that was supposed to come out?
I thought that was Miles Morales.
Miles Morales is on there.
I thought both of them were supposed to be on there.
They were both supposed to be on there, but so when the service changed on the 17th of June, I logged on, I played a little bit of the original, I started it over, and then it literally, the next day I went to go back to it, and it was not there anymore. And it hasn't been back ever since. I haven't even looked in like the past week or so, but last time I checked, it wasn't there.
All right, so I don't know this for a fact, but maybe try this because maybe the original Spider-Man's in the Miles Morales.
No, it's not. I started Miles Morales because I couldn't play the other one. Okay. I say I've reinstalled it and done all the good hubbubaloo. And Alex, to answer your question, Terrifier's on Tubi, Roku Channel, Vudu, Amazon Prime, and Plex, all for free.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right. Some questions from the chat. Nitro wants to know how I'm going to slow down Sid from beating me in Platts. We're going to leave that unanswered because Sid knows what I'm talking about.
Basically, you have a bunch of easy platinums saved up that you're going to just do in January, but let's be honest. If Sid gets on a roll and he keeps this up and he's got a big enough lead, you may not be able to catch him.
Oh, I will be able to catch him. Matt G says Steam will note 100% games in your profile. You want to clarify what that means, Zach? Or do you know?
I don't. It'll annotate that you've completed it 100%. I think that's what he's talking about.
Kayla says he's still working on Spider Ham. Don't know what that is.
Spider Pig does whatever a Spider Pig does.
And Rick says he's only himself to blame for waking the beast. Yes, I am to blame, Rick. We'll leave that alone. And then Rick says Spider Ham is a game he'd play. All right, let's get back to what we're doing. Zach, let's start with you. If you seem a little distracted right now, do you want me to go to Alex first?
Nope, you're fine. I was looking for my for my DualShock 4, but
okay. So what are you playing, Zach?
Oh, playing this week. I have been playing Apex. I started playing Warframe again and delved pretty deep back into that atmosphere. I'm trying to get a certain weapon that'll help me mainstream the rest of the storyline, so that way I can just finish it really quickly. What else have I been playing this week? I tried playing Sea of Thieves for the first time, and I was not a fan. There was like no direction when it came to the quests that I was doing. It was like, hey, go do this, and then I'm just like, okay, and then I'm like, how do I do this though? So, yep, uninstalled that game fairly quickly. Other than that, I think that's about it. And Dead Space. I am on Chapter 7 in Dead Space.
All right.
Is this your first time playing it?
Yeah. Yep, it was for our game club, like a little book club type deal that we're going to be doing.
Is that prep to play the remake?
No, we're doing. So we're doing a book club over on the Loot Bros, and so essentially us in the community are going to play the game, then we're going to do a whole episode on that game. It was actually voted on. So we all of us threw 3 games into the pot, and then it just got randomly picked. And then every month now, whenever we finish one, the Patreons will get to vote on which one we do next out of that list.
And initial thoughts on GameSpot? Well, I mean, you're 7 chapters in, so what are your thoughts so far?
It's really good. It does hold. A lot of people have been saying that it holds up to today, and I would agree with that. I haven't had any qualms, and I liked it even as a survival horror game. It's still really fairly simple to get to where you're going. If you open the map, it'll say, hey, you need to go up the elevator this way and this way. So at least it gives you the direction, so you're not wandering around like a lost child. I'm excited to finish it out and play 2 and 3 as well. I'm actually really looking forward to it.
I don't know if you should be that excited. I mean, I've say that I was about to slag on 3, and I've never played 3, but I don't know anybody who liked Dead Space and Dead Space 2 who enjoyed Dead Space 3.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah,
Right, well,
it was free for PlayStation Plus 1 month, and I still have never touched it. But I did enjoy Dead Space and Dead Space 2. It's just hearing what Dead Space 3 was just never made me want to play it because I liked Dead Space 1 and Dead Space 2 so much.
Rick says he likes 3. He said you're blasphemous.
We'll see about that, Rick. I mean, who knows? Maybe.
But yeah,
But who knows? You know, Zach, when Zach plays 3, maybe Zach can tell me I'm wrong too. I just think that if you like what Dead Space was, and then you like them doing more action co-op stuff in 3, it's just it's like what they did with Resident Evil. It's like, hey, we want to make this more action oriented because people want, and people don't necessarily want survival horror, and then you find out, oh wait, people do like survival horror. So
yeah, like I said, it doesn't like necessarily stick to like what we'd consider like normal survival horror, like Resident Evil, or like some of like the survival horror puzzle games like Visage and stuff like that. It's not the same with that. I consider it more of a sci-fi survival horror game than anything else, and it's really the only of its kind.
All right.
yeah, even now it does stand out quite a bit.
Yeah.
Matt G says, I enjoyed Dead Space 3, but definitely not up to the legacy of the others. Rick says it's all about the progression of Isaac as a character. Kayla says, I enjoyed all of them. And then Rick also said that he wished he could play Dead Space for the first time again.
I wish I could play Skyrim for the first time again.
All right. So Alex, I'm gonna ask you what you're playing, and Zach, I'm sending you some pictures for context of a story I'm gonna tell in a minute.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Oh, we're going to that, huh? Where is everybody's tax dollars going to now?
All right. So Alex, what are you playing?
So I've been playing quite a bit this week. Finished off Horizon Zero Dawn. Got the 100%, beat that on Ultra Hard, so I got the 100% back in Horizon Zero Dawn. Played Rocket League. Played It Takes Two. Finally, Ashley and I played it for a little bit on. I can't remember what day we played. Was it on Thursday? I think we played on Thursday. And we got through about 3 areas, the first area and then the first 2 bosses. So really enjoying that game. Not a lot of combat outside of the bosses, but co-op puzzle element, heavy co-op puzzle element to it, which I really, really like. Nothing, if I can't figure out a puzzle, Ashley can figure it out. So between the 2 of us, we've been able to figure out everything pretty easily. And if you've played video games before, you almost kind of step into a lot of these situations, and you can kind of like figure out immediately what they're going to ask you to do. So you're like, oh, okay, we got to do this. A lot of fun. And so yeah, It Takes Two. Like obviously there's a heavier like emotional story behind it with a child living with parents who are about to get divorced, and just kind of like the story flowing through that. And she's made like not voodoo dolls, but like little dolls, one made out of wood, the other one made out of clay, of her parents. And that's kind of the forms you take over when you play through the game. It's not like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and you're the parent. It's like these dolls come to life, and that's how you play the game. So the game's got a lot of charm, even with the story as kind of serious as it is, because obviously divorce can be traumatic not only for the parents but also for the child as well, probably more specifically for the child. But the gameplay is good. I like the co-op puzzle element of it, and the fact that it's mostly co-op puzzles. I think I enjoy that the most, where it's not just a lot of combat. We get enough combat in other games to where this is mostly puzzles. I really appreciate. Also bought the DLC for Ghost of Tsushima, and I've been traversing around Iki Island trying to get some of the trophies, DLC trophies for Ghost of Tsushima. And I will say that jumping back into Ghost of Tsushima after you haven't played it for like a year, getting used to the combat again is very difficult because you get overwhelmed very quickly, and it's super rough. It's like, man, I have to relearn this. Like, it's not like just riding a bike. You have to retrain yourself to do the combat because it is very difficult at times. But I mean, the gameplay is still rock solid. The game is still beautiful, and I'm now even going back. I've been through the game before. I've played New Game Plus, and on Iki Island, I'm taking out the camera and taking pictures all the time, just because of how beautiful the game is. So, really enjoying that. I know that people were not happy when they announced the director's cut, but to me, Iki Island is just DLC, and I paid $20 for it, and I'm glad I did pay $20 for it because it's more Ghost of Tsushima, and that game to me is a masterpiece. So that's
what
I've been playing this week.
I told you that.
You didn't have to. I was with you the entire time. I said this wasn't a cash grab. I didn't agree with what people said.
Mm-hmm. That's not a cash grab.
What have I ever said that anything's a cash grab that Sony's done recently? What have I ever said?
I'm just busting chops because I've been hearing all week about the cash grabs.
When did I say they were cash grabs?
You didn't.
Then why are you getting on me?
I'm not getting. Never mind.
You just said you were busting my balls. You were busting chops.
All
Why are
right.
you busting my chops?
Zach, did you get the pictures?
I did.
All right, so
Hold on. Should we let Zach ask questions first? Because there have got to be questions that come to mind.
Did you hit a fire hydrant, or did you just like accidentally, I don't know. Yeah, did you hit a fire hydrant?
no, it wasn't a fire hydrant. It was a jersey.
Did you hit a small child?
It was a jersey wall.
Can you drive?
Yes,
You've been alive longer than any of us on the show. Are you sure?
positive.
That picture doesn't say so.
Oh, there's 4 of them, but I'm going to show the best image so far. So if you're on Twitch, look at Twitch right now because I don't know how this is going to come into focus. So here's the story, Zach. There is a street in Manhattan that's a one-way street, and they were doing construction on the left-hand side, or excuse me, the right-hand side. So I was taking the turn wides, so I don't hit anything. And just as I was making the turn, a lady ran from the driver's side of the street to in front of the truck, which caused me to slam on the brakes and cut the wheel to the right and run over a jersey wall and do that to the rim of the truck. So I reset this in the group chat. Here's a better picture of the rim.
You'll be all right. You still got like 6 other tires to drive on.
Yeah. Hold on. That's not let me scroll. And then that's how much the tire came off of the truck. Because it completely came off the rim. So, yeah, that was my day. I hate when people decide to run in front of a garbage truck. But my biggest pet peeve, Zach, and I've said this.
Hold on. Is that something that is that a choice New Yorkers make all the time?
You have no idea how much people will jump in front of a garbage truck. Whether it's people walking on the street or it's people trying to get in front of a garbage truck while they're driving the street because they don't want to be behind a garbage truck. Okay, and now there's a weird sound. Oh, sound's gone.
I got honked at by a garbage truck the other day on the interstate because he wouldn't let me over into my exit. So I sped up and I went in front of him.
Yeah, but my biggest pet peeve, Zach, and I think you will agree with me, is there are parents who will want to cross the street. They will put themselves in between the parked cars on the side of the street, and put their stroller into traffic. That irritates the absolute piss out of me. You want to be safe, but you got no problem putting your infant child in a stroller into traffic.
Nope, I walk my daughter to school every day, and she always stays on the side away from the street.
Rick, I'm not going to respond to your last comment, but Rick said before that they need to get you off driving and put you back in the office. Yeah, I think they do. And then Rick says people who do that are wankers. I guess that's British. That means what, assholes?
That's you honestly don't like that can't be the first time you've heard that before.
I've heard wankers. I just don't know like that's
it's not a compliment, I'll tell you that much. I don't know exactly where, like, what situation, what the context that word was born out of, but I do know that basically it means like you're an asshole, you're a shithead, what have you.
Yes. All right. So what have I been playing? I've also been playing It Takes Two. I've been playing that with Sweet Mama D. You don't get a lot of trophies in that game.
Apparently I looked up the trophy guide, and apparently it's an easy. It's like a 3 out of 10, but you're not like getting progression trophies through the story, from what I can tell. Because like I said, we've beaten 2 bosses, and they
yeah, you've already missed trophies.
Well, I'm assuming, but you could chapter select after you've beaten it, so you can go back and get whatever. But I'm assuming it's more like progression trophies, like, hey, you all, or like not progression, but like co-op trophies, like do you and your partner do this specific thing within a level, rather than beat the boss and you get a trophy. Although there is a gold trophy for beating the game, so you do get something for that. But
yeah, well, the trophies are you have to find all the mini games.
Well, I found 2. We found 2 of them.
Okay.
How many in the first 3 areas? How many should there be?
I don't know how many 3 areas, but there's 25 of them total.
Ah, okay. Well, we found 2 of them. And
then there's certain trophies where you'll do something like I don't want to spoil anything for you, but the first game that they made, A Way Out, you actually have, when you come across that statue, you find little things like that. You have to do something with the statue, and then you both get the trophy. Or like I just got a trophy today for filling up a piggy bank and smashing it. I got the trophy, but Sweet Mama D didn't.
Yeah, there's a trophy for platforming, like up a tower, and both people have to do it. It just can't be one person who does it.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously I've been playing The Division. I got to start playing Alan Wake. I got to finish that up. And that's all I've been playing. I thought I played something else, but I don't remember. Let me look it up real quick. Recently played It Takes Two. Nope, that's it. That's all I've been playing. No, I played a little Fall Guys. I got a couple trophies in Fall Guys, but I think I did that last week. All right, so yeah, let's get into our topics. The first one is coming from IGN. It's kind of an update from last week when we were talking about this. Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic. It says we reported that it was paused indefinitely. Coming from Matt Kim over at IGN, it has been confirmed that the game has moved over to a different developer. I'm looking right now. Embracer has moved them over from Asper over to Saber Interactive, Eastern European studio. They don't expect the transition to result in a delay. However, a release date was never officially announced, so we don't know if that's actually going to be true or not. So, apparently it is still in the motions. It just moved studios. I just want to confirm that from last week when I think Matt G is the one that said that in the chat that it did move over. Okay, so our first talking conversation, which I thought about putting as a topic of the week, but I figured, we got other things we could talk about. Coming from IGN and Rebecca Valentine, PlayStation 5 is getting a price increase in Europe, Canada, Mexico, Asia, and Australia. On the PlayStation blog, Sony announced it will be raising the price for both editions of the PS5 in Europe, the UK, the Middle East, Africa, Asia, Latin America, and Canada. The United States seems to be the only major market not getting a price increase. Quote, the global economic environment is a challenge that many of you around the world are no doubt experiencing. We're seeing high global inflation rates as well as adverse currency trends impacting customers and creating pressure on many industries, end quote. I don't want to go through all of the price changes, but it seems to only have gone up $50 basically for both editions. There might be an exception here, but I don't know the exact translation from like the won and Australian dollars. I don't know exactly how that really I don't know the right word, how that translates into American currency, but it seems like it's only a $50 raise. This is causing outrage, as of course you would expect, and both Microsoft and Nintendo have come out and said that they will not be raising the prices of their consoles. So, Zach, let's go to you first. What do you think about these price increases and whatnot? And we do have a question later in the show, people asking, about this. So, Zach, we'll start with you
we
first.
should say that this is where are these increases taking place? Because it's not in the U.S. This price is staying the same in the U.S.
It's not in the U.S. yet. Tricky listed off what countries they're going to be in currently, but the thing about it is I don't know if you consider Bloomberg a credible source, but I do, and they said approximately to make a disc version of the PS5, it cost Sony $450 to produce one system. So with shipping costs and packaging and stuff like that, I feel like they end up breaking even when they're selling to distributors. So I do think it's warranted, and if it's only a $50 to $100 increase depending on the system, and I won't think it's going to break anyone's bank. I mean, if they're breaking even on it, cool. They're going to make, maybe after the price increase, they're going to make another 25, especially with the chipsets being shorter. And then, Daryl discussed it a little bit, he's being in the manufacturing industry as well. There's also a thing, from my understanding, if you give a company like extra money, they'll produce and put your stuff out first. So let's say they're trying to ship out 1,000 consoles, so they need 1,000 chips to produce those consoles. So they give the company an extra $10,000-$20,000 to produce their 1,000 consoles first.
All right, Alex.
I mean, the bad thing about this for Sony is whether they need to do it or not, they're losing the PR war this console generation. I mean, it doesn't look good when Microsoft and Nintendo are coming out and saying, yeah, we're not going to raise prices. I mean, regardless of the reasons behind it, whether Nintendo and Microsoft don't need to rely on this kind of stuff as much as Sony does. Like, if Microsoft's worried about the cloud mostly, and who knows, Nintendo may not need the exact same components that Sony does, or they're not in a rush to get stuff out there like Sony is. But from the outset, if you're a consumer, this looks bad on Sony, and Sony's already taken a number of PR hits this generation. So, I mean, like I told Tricky on the Facebook chat, $50 to $100 may not be a lot to some people, but to other people it is, and maybe it's what keeps them from buying a console. I mean, it's a shitty situation, and I think that Microsoft, when it comes to whether they're going to raise the price of their consoles or not, I mean, let's be real, Xbox is part of Microsoft, and Microsoft is worth a lot more than Sony is. So Microsoft can always, the Xbox game division can always take these hits that maybe Sony can't. Like, I honestly, if the Xbox game division wasn't like, Xbox game division being profitable is not as much of a priority as SIE being profitable or Sony is. So Microsoft can take these hits regardless, even if they're not making money on the console sold. But I think it's a bad look for Sony, regardless of the reasons behind it, because consumers are going to see that and they're going to be like, oh, so you guys don't have Game Pass and blah blah blah. And I don't think it's great. And then the new lawsuit comes out about going after Sony for the amount of royalties they're taking on sales on the PSN, and then there's the whole question of whether Sony is blocking games from going to Xbox Game Pass in Brazil. Like, there's a whole lot of things that would negatively affect people's views of Sony recently. So. And this is just yet another thing.
All right. Some comments from the chat, basically all from Rick, one from Dupes. Rick says, consoles have always been sold at a loss since the 2600 days. They've never gone up in price. Imagine that. Sony should eat the cost. And then he said Microsoft should fucking lower their price. Imagine that. They can afford it. Dupe says, if I didn't have a 5 now, I'd go Xbox based on this. And Matt G says, remember when the PS4 was priced at E3 after Microsoft gave the price of the one? This is the opposite of that. I really don't know how to comment on the price increase. I believe Sony should just eat the cost. Because they've always sold the consoles at loss. I mean, it's always been known that Sony and Microsoft and Nintendo, they don't make the money off the consoles. They make it off the software, the games, stuff like that. So yeah, I don't agree with this price increase at all. I think it's wrong, and I think Sony should be eating the cost of this. Uh, we're having a hard enough time getting the consoles in the customers' hands now. This $50 increase, to me, I mean, if I'm being honest, it's really not affected anybody because they're still being sold on the black market, and they're way overpriced. Like I just checked on Walmart right now, a digital console on Walmart right now is $700 being sold by a third-party reseller. That's insane.
Okay, so to kind of give Walmart a little bit edge there, so that's because now they're transitioning to trying to do a little bit more in-store sales. So in the past week, I have seen PS5 disc and digital versions in stores. I've also seen Xbox Series S's and Series X's in stores, which they weren't carrying the disc versions of the PS5 or the X because of the limited availability and only selling them online.
All right. I mean, that's just the way I see it. I mean, like, I don't agree with the price increase at all. But it is what it is at this point. I mean, I think they should be more worried about trying to get the console into actual customers' hands and not scalpers and third party resellers and stuff like that. I think that should be their focus right now.
Well, their focus needs to be repairing their image because right now they're taking hits from left and right, and they don't need that.
I agree. All right. The next thing we have, Embracer has officially acquired Crystal Dynamics and Eidos Montreal. It officially owns Tomb Raider, Deus Ex Thief, and more. This is coming from IGN and written by Adam Bankhurst and Ryan Dinsdale. One of them did the update. I don't know. Not to go through the entire story again, but just the update. Embracer Group has now completed its purchase of Crystal Dynamics, Square Enix Montreal, and Eidos Montreal, following near a 4-month acquisition process. The Colossal Video Games holding company announced its update on its website, saying that plainly, quote, all conditions for the transaction, including regulatory approvals, have now been fulfilled and the transaction may be completed. Embracer has therefore today completed the acquisition, end quote. It can now shift its focus to acquiring several other companies it has purchased, including the owner of Lord of the Rings and Chivalry developer Tripwire Interactive. Tripwire is the one.
They made Maneater.
I was about to say, did they make Maneater? So yeah, Embracer officially owns those studios now.
Which, I don't know. We may or not be regretting this because I don't know if based on what I've seen recently, like everything that has gone down with KOTOR at Asper, and there was one other thing. I feel like they kind of did. Someone owned by Embracer had dropped the ball recently. We were talking about this in chat, me, you, and Yield Tricky.
Yeah.
Who knows if Embracer is the best place to have these games? To be honest, because I'll look for the discussion. But yeah, I mean,
I've already bringing it up.
You have KOTOR. Go ahead, Tricky.
No, I'm looking it up right now. Oh, we were talking about Embracer with the new Saints Row game.
Yeah. And how that has not had great reviews.
Right, and I'm not gonna mention everything in the chat because some of the things were said to us in confidence. But you said after the issues of KOTOR, it makes you wonder if Embracer needs to own all the studios. I replied by saying Embracer is too high up to make these kind of decisions. Yield says, I was wondering the same thing, Alex. And then he said, true, tricky, but we reflect on them. And then the last thing you said, well, someone needs to step in before these studios turn out duds.
Yeah, I mean, none of us have played Saints Row, the new Saints Row yet. And honestly, I've been kind of turned away because the reviews have been pretty, middling. Not terrible, but they've been 6s. And I just don't know if I want to bet on that. And a lot of the press leading out to it from websites was not looking super positive. And you have KOTOR, which is a game that's already been made. You're just remaking it. So a lot of the hard work has been taken out. And Asper, has been working on this for how long, and apparently just dropped the ball to where they have to switch to another studio. And I guarantee that was an Embracer decision. Like that came from the top. It wasn't like Sabres one day went to Asper and said, hey, we're gonna have to take this over for you because you're not far enough along. No, it was after what Disney and Sony said, hey, this isn't where we want it. So Embracer had to step in there. So with some of these things, I don't know, I'm gonna keep an eye on it, but it depends on the kind of management for Embracer and where they take these games, because who knows, maybe they get control of. I mean, Crystal Dynamics, you figure, would know how to make a Tomb Raider game, but I don't know. I'm just saying, let's watch, because Embracer right now doesn't have the greatest track record with putting out games. So we'll see whether the Embracer-led Eidos Montreal and Crystal Dynamics goes.
All right, Zach, you have any comments?
It's just today's day and age, honestly. In my personal opinion, like somebody's not happy about it up top, then you could have worked on it for 4 or 5 years. It doesn't matter. We're seeing the same thing happen right now with Warner Brothers Discovery and the Batgirl movie. It does not surprise me that they went to a point where they're just like, yeah, I don't like this. I need something different.
All right. I'm sorry, I got distracted. Alex, can you go into the next topic? I got something on my phone that I got to take care of.
All right. Well, here, let me load it up. Well, I told you I don't have the.
I got it loaded up. Hold on, I got you.
All right, Zach. I'm sorry. Can you take the lead for this, please?
I sure can. Let me opity-dopity the link it did. Sony takes a stand against paid platinum games on PS4, PS5, and PSN. Sony appears to be implementing changes to the PSN store amidst the shovelware surge currently dominating the PS4, PS5 store pages. However, this may have a larger and more detrimental impact on smaller devs. So Sony is currently working on fixing the paid platinum issue that is rampant on the PS5 and PS4 PSN stores. We recently talked about a game called Press X for trophies that caused quite a discussion. Excuse me. Like the Sheet P trophies and Froggo trophies, PlayStation may have stepped in, but this fix may actually negatively impact smaller indie developers. Sony has implemented changes that clean up the PlayStation Store homepage for anyone browsing the catalog of games. Usually the homepage would be overflowing with these quick and easy paid platinum games, where it would be a struggle to find any actual games hidden amongst them. It seems now that Sony has cleared this up, more substantial games can be found without ease, with the likes of Stray, Cult of Lamb, Digimon Survive, Multiverses, and 2 Point Campus all popping up on the homepage. Whilst we might not necessarily agree with the paid platinum games due to their whole purpose being to provide players with the platinum trophies that require no effort, who are we or Sony to decide what games people want to play? So essentially, they have removed the paid platinums from the homepage, not necessarily from the PSN store.
They're basically reducing their visibility, so they're not as easy to find.
Exactly, and this group over at True Trophies is trying to say that it is negatively impacting indie developers, which, I mean, if your whole goal, in my personal opinion, is to play rat spam and trash plats, like there's a whole community for that, and you're going to find those games whether they're on the homepage or not.
Yeah, I mean, like Tricky, he has an entire list of games that he plans to play in January. We can go back to the rat plat. So, I mean, like you said, communities have been born out of this, and I guarantee that if that's what you're doing, if you're, rattling off 30, 40 platinums a month, then you know where to find these lists. It's not like you're relying on, I don't think anyone relies on the PlayStation Store or the PlayStation Network to find, unless it's like the newest game out, no one's looking for information on the best place to go for the easy trophies. You're certainly not going to find that on the PlayStation homepage.
Right.
And, I mean, Sony obviously is the proprietor. They have the option to pick whoever they want to feature on the homepage of their, whether it's their just the regular main menu or if it's just the PlayStation Store. So, I mean, you saying it's hurting indie developers is kind of like it's hurting some maybe, but it's the people who are putting out these easy games just to make a quick buck because they know people want an easy platinum. They want to boost their numbers. It's not hurting someone like Ember Lab, who's putting out Kena Bridge of Spirits. It's not hurting those people, and it's not hurting Annapurna Interactive, who put out Stray. So,
right.
If you want to make these games, and Sony says we're good, we're taking the focus away from these games, that's kind of on you. Like, and Sony has shown itself, as have Microsoft and Nintendo, to be good at, highlighting. I mean, there's all kinds of showcases and like summer festivals and like promotions that they do with indie games and indie studios. So I mean, yeah, it looks like to me, Sony and Microsoft and Nintendo have done a good job of partnering with indie studios to get their games out there. So I don't think it's their intent to hurt indie studios. I think they're just trying to maybe protect what they see as the value of the trophy system. Like if there's too much, like back to the days of the Wii when there was so much shovelware and that hurt the Wii overall. I don't think they wanted to get to the point where the trophy system is seen as a joke, because you've got somebody out there who has 1 million platinum trophies in a year because they played super easy games. They want to protect what they see as the validity of the PlayStation trophy system, which to me, it's always been kind of like a subjective thing. Like, trophies matter to you for one reason or another. They really have no value. It's up to you as the person, as same with achievements. It's up for you to the person playing the games to take them seriously. So someone like Tricky may be willing to go out and get, all these rat plats, and to him, 400 rat platinums is just as valuable to him as, 100 difficult or, more challenging platinums to me. So really it's up to the person how important trophies are. And it almost seems like Sony on some levels trying to decide that, okay, well, we're going to defend the honor, we're going to defend the shield and protect, the honor of trophies, when really that's up to each one of us.
See, I don't look at it as they're trying to protect the honor of trophies. I look at it as they're trying to make sure that the higher profile games get the attention. Because if they were trying to stop, trying to protect the honor, then they would stop allowing games like this. I mean, let's be real. Most of these rat games and the games they're talking about, they get sold for 99 cents, $1.99, $2.99, whatever the case may be. And it's basically just like the same game just slapped with a different skin. And, the way I look at it is, yes, somebody is trying to find a quick buck, but on the same token, somebody found a way to get money without putting a lot of work into it, and they're appealing to the gamers that want to get trophies, easy platinums. So, look at a game like My Name Is Mayo. Yes, it's 99 cents. You got 2 platinums for it, but how many times did they sell that game? Enough that they've made 2 sequels to it. You got the games like the Giraffe G, the Bear B, the Cat C, whatever it may be. And basically all it is just them, putting a new animal in a new background, and the same thing goes on. Or, you get games like the, I want to say it was Hero Quest, but I know it's the wrong one. But it's the one Sid did the Sophie's Trophies on, where you just basically run left and right and then upgrade. I don't begrudge these people for making their quick buck, because they're appealing to the, and they're being successful, because there are gamers out there that will pay 99 cents for a platinum. I'm one of them. It's stupid. But hey, if I'm able to inflate my trophy count by paying 99 cents, yes, you're appealing to it.
Well, let me ask you, is the PlayStation Store like, say, Netflix or YouTube, where it will suggest you things based on previous purchases or what you played? Or is that essentially Sony just beaming stuff on their homepage that they want you to focus on?
It's Sony determines what's being put up there. The problem is that, for every like AAA game that comes out, there are 20 rat spam games that come out. So when you go to your homepage, you may go look for, say, Gotham Knights, but what Sony's seeing as a problem, at least in my opinion, what Sony sees as a problem, is that you have to go to page 2 to find Gotham Knights, because 20 rat spam games are taking up page 1. And that's what I see this article saying, is that they want Gotham Knights, they want The Last of Us Part 1, they want that to be the focus. And if you want to find these rat spam, it'll be on page 2 or 3. But, I mean, even if, like, when I go look for the rat spam, I don't know every developer that's coming out with a rat spam game. I just do a search, a filter on the PlayStation Store, games that are 99 cents and $1.99, $2.99, and all the rat spam comes up. I know that if I want a game out there, like Gotham Knights or The Last of Us, I just go search for the game. They're talking about just anybody who doesn't know about these games, they want it to be the focus. That's what I see this article as. Some comments from the chat. Rick says, fuck them devs. If all you do is release 6 versions of the same game, go fuck yourself and get a proper job. Dupe says, agreed, absolute crap. released weekly. Rick says, I'm happy if I could just browse the store again without sifting through all the shit. Dupe says they just have a section of the store called the shit bin. Rick says, give me an option to not see these games. I'm trying to catch up real quick because we talked for a while. The bearded nerd banned somebody.
Yep. Give him the hammer. Wow. Use my powers.
What did he do?
It was a fake account.
Okay. Dupe says, it hurts my eyes looking at 700 shit games in the new game list. Rick says, shit, they'll probably make more money if people can just go to one section and buy everything. Absolutely true. Matt G says, if they wanted to protect the value of trophies, cash plats would be banned. I agree. Dupes agrees with that. Dupe says, no one started playing video games for that shit. Rick says, yeah, they've probably been complained by indie devs. Indie dev can either have their game lost in the crowd or put an easy plat on and guaranteed sales. I agree. Imagine for Christmas if you were bought the Cat C. Dupe says he divorced his parents. Rick says, look out for the physical version on limited run. And there's a whole bunch of other comments here. Okay, so one question that was asked by Rick earlier that I want to ask you guys. Rick says, what else has Embracer done except make THQ a mediocre developer? And he says it's a serious question. Alex, I'll go to you first.
I don't know. What has Gearbox done lately? Because they also own Gearbox, but Gearbox is essentially the Borderlands studio at this point.
Yeah, didn't Gearbox make something else?
I mean, they made like Bulletstorm or something like that. Wasn't that a game that Gearbox made?
I'm looking up right now. I know they made, they finally finished the Duke Nukem game. Gearbox Software. I'm trying to just go to their IMDb page. The Wikipedia page, sorry. IMDb, that's for movies. Games. Just recently, they've made Penn and Teller VR.
Why?
It's called Penn and Teller VR FUUUNU. Came out for the PlayStation VR, the Oculus Quest, and Windows.
That sounds not great.
They made Duke Nukem back in 2016. Battleborn was the game I was thinking about. Homeworld. Games published. Let's see. Homeworld 3, Tribes of Midgard. They published that. Godfall, Risk of Rain 2, Trover Saves the Universe, Earthfall, We Happy Few, and the physical format of Fortnite. And Bulletstorm. Yes, they made Bulletstorm.
All right. I mean, I know that Ashley's oldest, he plays Risk of Rain 2, and then one of our friends, his name's Reagan, he also enjoys Risk of Rain 2, so that may not be such a, that may be a quality game, but not a lot of high profile there. I just don't know. Like, I don't think there's any kind of, like, stamp of approval that people are going to put on Embracer based on the list of games that has been put out from them, because, I mean, I may have not liked Darksiders 2 as much as I like Darksiders 1, but it was still, it was still an alright game. But I have not heard anything great coming out of THQ Nordic since Embracer took them over.
Alright, Zach?
I'm kind of impartial. I haven't seen anything great. I agree. It's like they're not really too terribly much of a company that I really focus on to, because they've produced some okay games. Nothing that I would be completely sad to see gone. Because what have they produced recently? I think it was Alex 2.
You talking about THQ?
Huh?
You talking about just THQ or
THQ Nordic?
Yeah, I'm bringing up the Wikipedia page right now to see what they've come out with lately. Okay.
The only thing I'm looking forward to that they're producing right now, or helping produce, I guess is a good way to put it, because we all know Ukes is doing the majority of the work on it, is the AEW Fight Forever game is coming out soon.
Oh, some news from that. Did you hear the news from that?
What, Fightful said that FTR's not in it?
Yeah, they took FTR out of the game.
which I don't understand why you would, because I guarantee the best friends are going to be there, and I would gladly take FTR over the best friends.
Well, it's because FTR's done a lot more. They're doing a lot more in like Ring of Honor and some more independent promotions. So I think it has to do with something contractually based.
Aren't they the current champions though?
They're AAA, Ring of Honor, and IGWP
Yep.
tag champs.
They're not the AEW champions.
No,
That is Keith Lee and Swerve Scott.
Swerve Strickland.
Swerve Strickland.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay, but they won those belts recently though. They must have lost.
No, they did, but they were AEW tag champs and then lost them at Full Gear a couple years ago to the Bucks. So they were the ones that the Bucks took the titles off of.
Oh, I thought they just recently won it within the last couple of months or so.
No.
Okay,
They won the Ring of Honor titles.
It must be the Ring of Honor ones that I was thinking of.
Yeah, somewhat recently, but yeah, they were tag champions. Like they had the belts on them almost immediately when they came in, and then lost to the Bucks at Full Gear. Tricky, did we get sorry, Zach may have mentioned this, but I just may have not heard of it. Did we get an author for the last article, the rat spam article?
I can bring it up in a second. Give me 1 second. It was written by Sean Lawson over at TrueTrophies.com.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, going back to the article, like I said, if they were trying to protect the integrity, they would just ban these games outright. But instead, they're just all this article is basically saying is that they're going to bury them a little bit better, or they're going to make sure other games are more focused on than these. Which, okay, but anybody who wants to find these games, like I said, just do a filter for 99 cents to $1 and $1 to $2.99, and you'll find them very easily. That's how I do it.
Yeah, that's what I said while you're handling your phone. If someone really wants them, there's a whole community built around rat spam. It's not going to be hard. The people that are wanting to play it are going to find them. Are going to find it regardless. It's not. I don't think it's hurting indie companies like they say it's hurting indie companies. Just like if somebody wants to follow an indie creator, or like there's a whole section that's just labeled indie, where they promote like, hey, this is a smaller company that has a game that's kind of decent on our platform. So here, come take a look at these, the indie section specifically. Yeah, I don't think it's taking away necessarily too much from the larger scale games, Ghost of Tsushima and other titles like Gotham Knights is coming out soon. I'm sure that's already been up for pre-order. Modern Warfare 2, all that stuff's still front page.
Yeah. All right. So,
Well, and you look at their history with relationships with indie studios. I mean, who is a studio they just bought earlier this year after they announced they were buying Bungie? They bought Haven. So
which
they have a pretty good
hasn't
track
even
record.
made a game yet.
What's that?
Which Haven hasn't even made their first game yet.
Well, they're currently making a multiplayer game, and obviously Sony thought well enough of that game and their expertise to buy them. But again, that's an indie studio that they've already bet money on. So, I would say they've got a pretty good track record with indie studios.
All right. Let's go to our next story here. Our last story before our topic of the week. Dark Pictures, The Devil in Me is arriving this November. This is coming from Ryan Dinsdale over at IGN. Bandai Namco confirmed to IGN at Gamescom that the Dark Pictures, The Devil in Me will be released on November 18th. Coming to the PS4 and 5, Xbox One and Series, and PC. This acts as the Season 1 finale, concluding the collection of stories that began with 2019's Man of Medan. The unfortunate cast of characters in this episode are part of an entertainment TV series that's struggling to get views when a mysterious stranger invites them to a faithful recreation of H.H. Holmes' murder castle. However, they're filled with hope at the chance to revive their show. Things take a turn for the worse, of course, and the team finds themselves at the heart of a whole new series of spooky goings-on.
I'm excited for this one.
I got to go through all these games. I got to the boat on Medan and stopped.
You don't have to get through all of these games. So the only thing that is pairing these games together is the narrator, the narrator, which is the curator. So the curator just has a certain series of books. None of the characters are linked that we know of yet. They haven't given anything to say that all of these characters are linked in a certain way. But yeah, because I actually played I played Little Hope for. I played and finished a Little Hope first, and then I beat Man of Medan.
Yeah.
And it didn't affect the order I did them in. And then we're doing House of Ashes next month, I believe.
Yeah, IGN says they gave a Man of Medan a good, Little Hope was mediocre, and House of Ashes was great. And they said House of Ashes was the best game since Until Dawn. Sorry.
Well, okay,
maybe
so
what about?
I like the Little Hope a little bit better, but that's also because I like the story of Little Hope a little bit better because it had you until the end. So I'm trying not to spoil anything for anybody that hasn't played the game. It kept you until the end. Man of Medan is in second. Then I've played some of House of Ashes, and it's kind of good. It's good. So it's good for the most part so far, but it's not like it hasn't super duper kept my interest yet.
Does that not include the Quarry? Because I thought people were head over heels for the Quarry.
Quarry
And
was-
I know it's not part of the Dark Pictures anthology, but they've obviously
Right.
done that since they put out Until Dawn.
People gave decent reviews to the Quarry at first, but it seemed like it fell off relatively quickly.
Did you ever play The Inpatient, Zach?
Huh.
That was the VR game. I have it. I started playing it, and then I just didn't have the room to do the VR in my living room anymore because I rearranged. So I stopped playing it, but I could always pull it back out. But I always wanted to get back to The Inpatient.
Yeah,
Well, that's one of those.
I do not have VR anymore. Sorry.
Well, that's one of those games that's ended up on like most disappointing games of the year's list. Like
Yes.
I've seen that game kind of shat on since its release because I was really excited for it, and it was VR, and it's like, well, I have no way to play this. But I've seen retrospectively or afterward people say that wasn't a very good game, or at least it was very disappointing.
Yep. All right, so at this point, we're going to throw it across the pond to our main man, Sid, for this week's Sophie's Trophies.
Hello again, my friends, and another Sophie's Trophy coming at ya. This one, guys, it is a bit of a bigger game. We are going to take a look at Puzzle Bobble 3D Vacation Odyssey. Now, Puzzle Bobble, guys, it is part of the Bubble set of games. So those include Bubble Bobble, obviously, its sequel, Rainbow Islands, Puzzle Bobble, which is the match 3 popping bubble type game, and then you've got this one. There are probably a lot more. There's a Rainbow Islands Revolutions, which by all accounts is crap, but Rainbow Islands is, I would say, the best one of the bunch. Let's see how this one fares. So the game, guys, is your usual. You fire your bubble at the set of bubbles that are floating in the air. They're floating around a core, and you have a cannon thing, and you have to aim it and fire it. Now, when you're aiming your bubble, say you've got a blue bubble, and you aim it at the blue bubbles on the shape that is in front of you, the bubbles will glow when you are aiming in the right place to actually destroy them. So what happens is you fire, and you destroy some of the bubbles, and the shape that's in front of you will spin around, and you'll get another bubble to fire. I'm not sure, but I do think the bubbles are random. So maybe they're sort of attached to what colours are on the thing. I don't know how it works, but it is basically fire it, destroy the bubbles, and then fire it to destroy the core. I said that completely wrong. Destroy the core. There we go. How's that for English, guys? So, trophy-wise, we have Extended Vacation. This is your Platinum Trophy. And then we have Tourist Trapped. Complete story mode stages 1 to 10 to confront Bonner. Now, I thought that said Boner. I am so glad it didn't. Lost the Map. Complete story mode stages 11 to 20 to meet the helpful Chakan. Okay, so all of these are mainly complete certain levels in the game. So, Chakan Pop. Complete the story mode stages 21 to 30 to free some Chakan. And then we have Trouble in Paradise. Complete story mode stages 31 to 40 to explore more islands. Summer Solstice. Complete story mode stages 41 to 50 to reach the halfway point. And then Pab's Party. Complete story mode stages 51 to 60 to save Pab. Big League Beach Buff. Complete story mode stages 61 to 70 to find more clues. I will say, guys, I've got no idea what the story is. So the clues, I've got no idea what they're talking about. Peb's Picnic. Complete story mode stages 71 to 80 to save Peb. Last Days of Vacation. Complete story mode stages 81 to 90 to chase Bonner. And then we have Bonner Voyage. Complete all story modes to defeat Bonner. And then we have Overpowered Up. Use all 3 power-ups in a single attempt at a level. So you earn coins as you do in the game, guys. These coins buy you power-ups, and so therefore when you're playing a level, use all 3 as you are doing it. And then we have Bubble Bob Bull. Okay. Shoot Bob with any colour bubble. So Bob is feeding you your bubbles. Aim at him instead of the big thing you're supposed to be aiming at, and fire a bubble at him. And then Symphony of Bubbles. This one is the last trophy, and it is get a stupendous match. 100 bubbles. So this one, guys, you will get as you play the game. Later levels have much more bubbles on the shape that you're firing at. And I keep saying shape, guys, because they are random and all different shapes, all different sizes. So if you have a bubble hanging on by 1 or 2, it should be, and then you destroy those 2 bubbles, that bubble that was holding on by them will fall. So this one, you have 100 bubbles being held on by a 2, and you destroy that 2, 100 bubbles will fall. So yeah, that's it. Puzzle Bobble 3D Vacation Odyssey. From what I've played, it's not bad. It's not great. The aiming could do with a bit more finessing. You know, it's not the best. But for what it is, it's worth playing. But I will say Puzzle Bobble is way better. And Rainbow Islands is probably one of the greatest games ever made. I wish Arcade Archives would hurry the fuck up and put it on there, because I would buy it straight away. But that's just me. Let me know what you think, guys, and I will talk to you soon. Keep getting those trophies. Bye.
All right, thank you, Sid. Dupe says he's firing his balls and his boners. All right, so right now Rick is trying to bribe me to play Quantum Break on the Xbox. I don't know.
Fire up your Xbox, dust it off.
I don't have an Xbox anymore.
Well, that's unfortunate. Looks like you need to get the real man's console. Got it.
Yeah, okay. If it's on PC Game Pass, I'll pay my $1.
If it makes you feel any better, it's not going up in price at least.
All right, so at this time we're gonna throw it to our listener questions. So
Time to check my social media, yeah.
Cheers.
I knew you were gonna do that. As soon as I saw the can, I said, "All right." So Matt G wants to know, do you think the price for the increase for the PS5 in certain regions is the right move for Sony? We kind of covered that already. But then he goes on to ask, relish, cheese, or chili on your hot dog? Zach, we'll go with you first.
Chili, cheese, and onions.
All right.
Maybe a dill relish, but not a sweet relish.
Alex?
I'll take all 3, chili, cheese, and relish. And to kind of cap off my thoughts on that topic, I think Sony should eat the cost. I don't think they should raise the price. If it's really not that big of a price increase to ask for your customers, it's not a big enough price increase to ask for you to eat that. So.
All right. Yield, who left this comment in the chat, said chili and cheese. And then Yield also left a comment about the PlayStation 5. He says, I haven't educated myself on the reason on why the price hike, but just my uneducated opinion equals it's BS to increase the price of the base console if there's no other extras being packed in. Which I think is fair to say as well. All right. And me, I like I like cheese, but I just really prefer just either ketchup or mustard, depending on the day of my hot dogs. I don't really like a lot of extra things on my hot dogs. Rick just confirmed that Quantum Break is not on PC Game Pass. It's only on the console. So fuck. Now I gotta go rent a console from Xbox or GameStop.
Well, hold on. Let me ask. Isn't the physical edition of the PS5 more expensive to produce?
I would think so because they have to put a disc drive in it.
Well, then maybe if we kind of got off these physical consoles and people were willing to subscribe to the digital consoles,
But they were also
Sony
in-
wouldn't
but
Sony
they're also-
wouldn't have to spend as much money to devote to console building.
Yes, that would be logic, but they're also increasing the price of the digital editions as well.
So the funny thing is, they already cut the cost of producing the physical console itself when they took out. So everybody knows that kind of the first run of everything is kind of like you're the guinea pig run. I don't care what anybody says. If you buy a console day one, you're the guinea pig. So we know that Sony consoles have had issues overheating before, but after they came out with the second run of PS5s, it was noticed that they actually took part of the heat sink out, so they actually were saving money producing a smaller heat sink. So they've already cut costs once. I haven't examined or looked into any of the other runs if they've taken anything else out or cut back on the size of certain of other things, but all I'm saying is they've already cut costs once.
All right, and Rick says fuck digital. And Dupe says we are in the last generation of physical games. I feel. I think we're gonna go one more cycle.
Yeah, I don't think it's the last generation, but I think that sooner or later, everybody who clings to physical is going to have to accept the fact that you're going to just get a more dwindling amount of focus on physical, especially if the main stores you can go buy physical at, if GameStop goes under, if, Target and these other places aren't carrying as many physical copies, you're going to run out of options at some point.
GameStop's going to go under. I hate to say that, but they are.
Oh, definitely. I'm surprised they haven't gotten under yet already.
They're already selling stuff off. There was a clearance on the clearance sale not too long ago at mine where they were selling all their clearance items for half off of what they already cut costs on them for. So they were already losing money there.
Yep. All right. Next question. Rick says, "What is your dream dessert?" And you get bonus points if you manage to trigger me. So Alex, will go with you first.
I really I think few things can match just a chocolate chip cookie, a just basic chocolate chip cookie, but it's got to be fresh out of the oven. That is something that is just phenomenal, and it works every time. I also love cookie dough. We have a lot of shops here in town that will sell you just cookie dough, like ice cream to eat. Phenomenal, but I think that for me, it's baklava. My favorite dessert, and when done really well, baklava is incredible.
All right, Zach?
My grandmother's cookies, her Toll House cookies, were fantastic. But my grandmother has since passed away, so I will never have them. So they are truly a dream now.
All right, and me, I like a fresh brownie with some ice cream on top of it.
A la mode.
A la mode. Yield has gone on to say the Reese's Cup Sundae from Friendly's. Dupe says, got to go a piece of pie lemon meringue. So,
I'd like to know what was going to trigger him. What the answer he was looking for?
I don't know.
Put that in the chat.
Oh no, because we often have talks on this thing where you guys eat some abomination foods, and I guess Rick was just looking for you to say something so crazy it would trigger me.
I'd have to say a close second was what I had today. We went out to Golden Corral, and I got myself some fresh bread pudding, and threw some vanilla ice cream on top of it. It was fantastic.
Yeah, and just in response to you, Alex, I don't begrudge you, but I don't understand how anybody can eat just plain cookie dough. That to me is just gross.
Well, it's got chocolate chips and toppings in it. When you get a cookie dough from a shop here, you can get chocolate chips or M&Ms, all the stuff that you would put on a scoop of ice cream. You can get with the cookie dough.
Rick said
they even make edible cookie dough without the egg, so it's not as terrible for you.
Cookie dough's got to be cooked. Just raw cookie dough, no. Rick does say ice cream with mustard.
What?
I guess he's trying to trigger me. If you eat
I
mustard on
did
your
see
ice cream,
something that somebody said that ice cream with vanilla ice cream and soy sauce is really good for some reason.
Where did you see that?
I've seen people eat it. It's everywhere on the internet. It's it went viral. not too long ago.
I'm so glad I didn't see that. All right.
I found out what would have triggered Tricky.
And
Apparently, it doesn't take much to trigger Tricky because anything from the Midwest that we like, he has to shit on.
well, I'm about to shit on Rick. His last question: what is your favorite Tenacious D song, and why is it Beelzebub? I'm just gonna start this off by saying Tenacious D is a fucking abomination of a band and should never fucking existed. I love Jack Black, but his fucking music is horrible. With that being said, I'll go to Zach.
And we played the first song that came to our heads. It just so happened to be. It was the best song in the world. Sorry, I just had to sing for Tricky real quick.
Matt G just said he's unsummoned. Rick says, "What the fuck, man?" I like Jack Black, but his music is horrendous. Sorry.
It was worth it. Don't even lie to yourself.
All right. So, do you have a favorite Tenacious D song?
Yeah. Yes and no. I have a favorite Tenacious D movie because they only came out with one.
All right.
If that makes you feel any better. The Pick of Destiny was really was quite funny. Ooh, sorry, my leg itches right now. I saw Rick was singing Wonder Boy earlier.
Well, okay. Some answers from the chat. Sid says Wonder Boy. Rick says Rigga Goo Goo Rigga Goo Gog. Sid came back by saying high above the mucky muck. Rick came back, says there the crevice, fill it with your mighty juice. Sid says always do, buddy, always do. And then Neil says tribute.
They're singing the song. Tribute's the best song.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, they were singing the song, Tricky.
Okay.
There's no song called Goo Goo Gee Goo Goo Gaga.
See, it's lyrics like that make them an abomination. Alex, do you have a favorite Tenacious D song?
Tribute's the only one I know, so I can't answer that one.
Rick says Tenacious D is a fucking rules, and he says he's a better singer than actor, and he's a shit hot actor. I don't know that I agree. Sorry, I apologize. I'm not a Tenacious D fan at all. All right,
Hater.
hey, at least I stand up for my principles. All right, so in an article that Alex has been getting on me that I haven't talked about in 3 weeks.
To be very clear, I think everyone agree this is something we should talk about.
Oh, no, I agree we should have talked about it.
Because let's be clear, you've already been accused by Daryl of shilling for Naughty Dog this week, so...
We're not going to talk about this game.
No, we don't need to. But,
I will instantly sign off. We're not talking about this game. Absolutely not.
All right, Rick says we all suck except for Zach.
Ayo.
Okay. So
I just followed you on Twitter, Rick. I will undo. Well, it's fine. You can think I suck, but you're still following me, so whatever.
The only reason we haven't talked about this is I was waiting for more information to come out because I thought this was a clickbait article, but apparently there is some validity to it. So let's get into it. This is coming from The Verge. It's written by Tom Warren. Microsoft claims Sony is paying to block rights to keep games off of Xbox Game Pass. So I'm going to read the article as quick as I can. Go give it a click. Microsoft has claimed that Sony pays for, quote, blocking rights to stop developers from adding their content to Xbox Game Pass. The explosive games are part of documents filed with Brazil's national competition regulator and part of a review of Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard. Quote, Microsoft's ability to continue expanding Game Pass has been hampered by Sony's desire to inhibit such growth, end quote, claims Microsoft in an August 9th following to the Administrative Council for Economic Defense, as translated from Portuguese. Quote, Sony pays for blocking rights to prevent developers from adding content to Game Pass and other competing subscription services, end quote. Does this mean Sony's evil and Microsoft is casually out here revealing some dastardly business practices? The reality is likely a little bit more complicated on both sides. Sony simply could be paying for exclusive rights for its own streaming services, or it may have clauses in some publishing contracts that prevent some games it publishes from being published on rival subscription services. It's not clear exactly what Microsoft is referring to here, but contracts for publishing games can be complex, particularly when the rights for streaming and subscription services are involved. Documents filed in the Epic Games versus Apple trial last year revealed Microsoft had been considering lowering the revenue split for PC games, quote, in exchange for the grant of streaming rights to Microsoft, end quote. If Microsoft had proceeded with its plans, that could have led to the company securing exclusive streaming rights for some games, preventing them from being available on rival streaming services. It all depends on how publishing contracts are written, and both Microsoft and Sony regularly secure game exclusives that involve timed releases, console exclusivity, and lots of marketing dollars. Microsoft is attempting to convince Brazil's CADE, which is the go back up here. That was the Administrative Council for Economic Defense. That's what CADE is. Microsoft is attempting to convince CADE regulator that it should waive through the company's proposed acquisition of Activision Blizzard for $68.7 billion, while the Federal Trade Commission is analyzing documents from Brazil and its acquisition in the U.S. that the correspondence is private. That's not the case in Brazil, where this competition regulator offers up public documents to provide unique insight into the business competition between Microsoft and Sony. This article keeps going on and on. I don't want to read this whole thing. All right, so basically we got the gist. Microsoft is claiming that Sony's blocking the rights. I don't know how I feel about it, so I'm going to go to Alex first, because Alex, you're the one who wanted to talk about this the most.
Well, shouldn't we? I mean, Microsoft, there had come out that because obviously in Brazil they would have to pass and say that yes, this like the FTC here in the U.S. like they would have to pass and say that yes, Microsoft can acquire Activision. Like there's a number of councils, I guess, across the world, globally, that have to approve this for Microsoft and Activision to go through. And Sony, and in particular, there was kind of like some hiccup in Brazil where Brazil had gone to Sony and said, hey, what do you think about this deal? And Sony had said that they can't possibly make anything that would be competition for Call of Duty if Call of Duty were to go exclusive to Microsoft, which Microsoft has said that it doesn't make any sense for them to make Call of Duty exclusive. It wouldn't be as profitable as is multi-platform. But that was the first thing that I saw that came out. And then there was this thing where Microsoft said that Sony were actively blocking things from going to Game Pass. And so I think on the thread that I saw on Facebook of this when it first came out, I commented that I'm playing the tiniest violin for Microsoft. I mean, honestly, I don't really feel bad for Microsoft at all. But how many game companies have bought the rights exclusively, timed exclusive rights or exclusive rights to video games so that they couldn't be on another platform? I couldn't play Castle Crashers or Braid or Cuphead for a long time because Microsoft bought the rights for their console. Or made some kind of like publishing deal. So how is Sony doing this, blocking stuff from going to Game Pass, not like any different than publishers paying for timed exclusive games, which completely blocks people from playing them on one console? Because Microsoft's done that in the past. Sony has done that in the past. They both blocked games from going to the other person's console. So how is that any better or worse than someone saying, well, you can't put this on Game Pass because of something Sony did? Like that, to me, blocking games from coming to consoles is worse than blocking games from going to Game Pass, because at least if you're on Xbox, you can still pay for it and buy it.
In PC?
All right.
Yeah, like, am I just reading this wrong? Like,
no, I agree with you 100%. And some comments from the chat. Rick says, this is what game companies do. Sony did this to Nintendo and Sega back in the day. Dupe says Nintendo still does it. Rick says, guess what Xbox did this to Sony and Nintendo back in the day? Dupe says, look at some of the Square Enix games that never made it to the PlayStation. Rick says they all do it. It's not news. Breaking news. Company tries to get leg up on competition. Dupe says, LOL. Dupe says, Microsoft come over a bit salty here for me. And Rick says, the best-selling console in Brazil was the Sega Master System back in 2012. And then Matt G says, back when the original Destiny came out, Sony paid for extra exclusive PlayStation content. Dupe says, yep, didn't have a PlayStation had a unique raid. I don't know that. Matt G says it was a strike. And then Dupe says, or unique even or something. So I never played Destiny, so I don't know. Zach, we'll throw this to you. What do you think? Like, I think Dupe said it. Is Microsoft coming off salty here?
No. Like I said, and like Alex said, Microsoft has openly said that they'd lose too much money making stuff like Call of Duty an exclusive to their system. You know, they're not going to do that. What they're going to do is they're going to do like most other companies would do, is they're going to take a majority of the profits. They're going to take, I don't know, they'll probably take like a 75 to 80% of the profits that are made from that game on different systems and give Sony the other 20%. So I don't see where all the hubbub blue is. Like, I kind of get it in a way, because it's kind of similar to when T-Mobile bought Sprint. They actually had that decision took 3 years in the Supreme Court, because they were trying to say that if T-Mobile buys Sprint, there's not going to be enough mobile companies, and that the companies that were there, T-Mobile, AT&T, and Verizon, would all have the ability to essentially monopolize the system and raise their prices up. Which, I mean, I agree with that in a sense, but they're essentially saying the same thing here. It's not that big. There are 3 major gaming companies. There's Nintendo, there's Sony, and there's Xbox. That's it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. I mean, Steam is a game selling platform. They're not a game producing platform. So, you know, being able to play most of these games all on one central area, anyways, because we're getting PlayStation exclusives on PC now, is, you know, it is what it is. They can sound salty, they can be pissed off all they want. Sony's sounds like Sony's really trying to play the power move here.
Deuce wants to know, is there a list of what games have been blocked? No. They're just claiming in a broad sense that Sony's paying for exclusive rights or blocking it somehow. They didn't say exactly what it was.
Sony is worried that Microsoft is going to go completely exclusive with Call of Duty, and that's never going to happen.
No.
That is their extreme worry. Could it happen? Yes, 110%. It could very much so happen if Microsoft wanted to be super greedy about it.
I think
they're not going to do that. They could, because they would lose probably. Let's say they'd lose probably about 50 to 60% of their profits and their player base.
I think what you should be more worried about is the fact that they come out with some exclusive content for Xbox more than they take Call of Duty off of the PlayStation.
I mean, yeah, but I still don't think they'll do that. I think we'll get content exclusive things for each of them, like for Warframe, for example. Like I play Warframe and I get exclusive stuff on my I get exclusive things from on my Xbox account, because that's where I started it. I like that, like Microsoft pays and Xbox pays to get like exclusive skins and stuff. I mean, they're not nothing fancy, but I get them.
Dupe says Microsoft has fuck you money that could easily make it exclusive.
I agree. They could.
All right. Alice, you have any final comments on this?
No, I mean, I can see why this would cheese Microsoft and piss them off, but I mean, this doesn't seem like anything different when it comes to the business of video games than has been done in the past. And I would say that making your stuff exclusive, like paying a third party to make their stuff exclusive to your console, where you completely block some people from buying it at all, is worse than Sony not letting stuff to go to Game Pass. So, and does this just contain isn't this just in Brazil? Like, this is where this report emanated from as well, was Brazil.
Well, no,
I don't think they're doing this in the U.S.
No, they're doing it all over. It's just coming out in Brazil because Brazil, the corporate filings are public, where in the United States they're private. So because they're trying to, they have to go through all the markets for the acquisition, that somebody just looked at the Brazil filings, which were in Portuguese, and then translated to say that Microsoft said this in their report of why they're trying to, why they should be allowed to acquire Activision Blizzard. This is part of the reasons why they're saying this is we could do this because it's not monopoly, because Sony's actually trying to block it where we can't make our games exclusive. That's what they're saying.
No. Well, I mean,
it'll never pass. Sony has exclusive games. Xbox has exclusive games. That's how it's always been. I mean, shit. if you want to talk about the company that's like almost one of the worst with exclusive games, Nintendo. There are so many games on Nintendo that you're never going to touch on PC. You're never going to touch on Xbox. You're never going to touch on PlayStation.
Yeah, you're never gonna get a Mario game or a Zelda game on PC.
Hell no. Like, we're lucky that everything started spreading out the way it has lately. Like, we've gotten Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts used to be Nintendo handhelds. And
to be fair, that started on
Sony.
PlayStation.
Yeah. Granted, like I said, but like, you know, like there have been steps in the right direction. Like now you can play Cuphead on PC and PlayStation. Like they're making efforts. So that's great. But like I don't know, them being like, oh, no exclusives ever is kind of ridiculous. Because them having exclusives on each of their consoles is only going to drive their sales up more. Because I want to play God of War Ragnarok. Can't play it on my Xbox. Got to have a PlayStation service, whether that's PlayStation Plus or PlayStation itself.
All right, some comments from the chat. Rick says Microsoft can do whatever they want with their money. They're really surprised they haven't decided to make any good games with it. Dupe says Starfield is the only game he's excited about for the Xbox wise. Matt G says, I've got plenty of Mario and Zelda games on my PC. I don't know how that's possible. Rick says Elder Scrolls 6 in 2033, baby. Dupe says 100% correct. Nintendo is the worst at holding everything. Rick says the good ones to right, Ender. And Dupe says Elder Scrolls will come to PlayStation, I think. And because Microsoft sees Skyrim cash.
No, it's facts. 110%. So everybody's worried because we've been having, like, over the past 2 years, we've been having this whole company buy up type deal between the two companies, and Microsoft's been buying a lot of game studios, which understandable. You're worried about it, but at the same time, like, they're both businessmen, or like they're both large companies that understand how business works here. They're not going to jeopardize their business by becoming greedy with their own system. The day they become greedy is the day we see the fall of the gaming industry as we know it, and that'll never happen.
Matt G says Breath of the Wild is on PC. He's got to be talking about emulators, right? That never came out on
smart.
PC.
Yeah, no, he's talking. Yeah, he's just
being the smartest. All right. Moving on. I'm not going to go through. We're going to talk about Gamescom real quick. Opening Night Live. I am not going to go over everything like this because me and Daryl recorded a Patreon exclusive episode covering all this. So I'm not going to go over everything, but I'm going to talk about a few things here. One, the DualSense Edge was announced.
And of course, that was the first thing you go to.
Well, it's just the top thing.
Well, Tricky has this
standing
thing
on his Sony hill.
I think Tricky counts like when it's, you know, like a big holiday dinner. I think Tricky has a seat for his own daughter, but also for the DualSense as well because he loves that thing.
I am buying the DualSense Edge. It is Sony's response to the Xbox Elite controller. This has back buttons, programmable buttons. I'm definitely excited to buy this.
There's a company that's been doing that for years for both consoles.
You talking about Scuff?
Yeah, it's magic. See, it's real pretty. It has little buttons on the back.
Hey Zach.
And they make them for both companies, and it's great.
Hey Zach. Look at Twitch right now.
Are you flipping me off?
No. I have a Scuff controller for the DualSense.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. It's.
But yeah, go check that out. Rick says I'll join you there Patreon next week, but we have to put out weekly content. I'm trying to get it done. I got to get Alex and Yield on board.
What, weekly content? Oh, you mean like extra content? Okay.
For Patreon.
I had an idea that I wanted to pass along to the folks, mainly to Tricky, but also we got Zach here, and he's a podcasting pro. We also got, the people in the chat. So what if we had something we released every month, like the cutting room floor, like maybe topics that weren't like huge enough to talk about, but stuff we could put before, just chat about at the beginning of every episode. Like if you're on the stream, you would know about them, but we would just kind of cut those out and cobble them together to make a bunch of us nonsense talking about smaller stories before the show, and we could just make those into one show.
That's what I plan to do.
Don't you steal my ideas and call them your own.
I told you about this idea a long time ago.
If it makes you feel better, in all fairness, there's usually a yearly episode that's like 4 hours long of all the stupid conversations we have before we start.
An omnibus.
Yep, it's just like here. It's like what's a good way to put it? It's like the deleted scenes at the end of a movie, the bloopers. It's like a blooper reel.
Deuce wants to know: do you need an elite controller to play My Name Is Mayo 5?
Yes.
Unfortunately,
because you have to touch the top of 20 mayo jars.
Unfortunately, the Mayo series is done. They said it was only going to be a trilogy. Rick says he'll do some monthly content for the Patreon. Absolutely, Rick. I will set it up with you. I will do some Patreon content with you, especially since it's probably easier to do with you guys across the pond, only because of the fact that I work until 3 o'clock in the morning, which is 8 o'clock in the morning for you guys. So it lines up where nobody's really around for me to do the content when unless it's my day off, which is Sunday, which is why we're recording today. Okay, so going through here real quick. I want to call it a swerve because a lot of people that watched Opening Night Live, they saw the trailer for this game and immediately thought it was Bloodborne 2, but Lords of the Fallen gets it's a little confusing because this was Lords of the Fallen 2, but this is a sequel. This is not a remake, but for some reason they're still calling it Lords of the Fallen. They just dropped the number 2 from the thing. So, the new.
I think it had a longer name actually.
It just said previously titled Lords of the Fallen 2. That's all it says.
Yeah, but I think its new name is different.
Okay. We got new Tales from the Borderlands. It's been officially revealed. It's coming out on October 21st. I still don't know if this is going to be like a Telltale style, point and click adventure.
They haven't really given too much information on it in regards to that. They did say that it's going to be a new story though, and it's not going to be the same characters, which a lot of people are sounding like they're pretty upset about, honestly.
Dupe says from the chat, he says, I like other podcasts you did with the closer look at certain games. I can't remember the name. PG Spoilers, was it? Yeah, PG Spoilers was basically our version of community shows. If you guys wanted to do your own podcast, you just record it, do whatever editing you want, and I released it as long as it didn't, cross too many lines. I put it out. So yeah, if you guys out there want to do a podcast, just send it to me and I'll post it on PG Spoilers. It's that's a community podcast feed. But Daryl was in charge of that before he left to go back and reboot the Loop Bros. All right, going back to the article, I called it a yield-ass game. Tortuga, A Pirate's Tale, was announced. Gotham
Knights finally got an earlier release date, 4 days earlier, and we got a Villains trailer, which is freaking immaculate. We get to see that it's not just the Court of Owls. We got Mr. Freeze, Harley, and Clayface. I'm super excited for that game.
Yeah, but you know the only disappointment about that is that none of the original voices from the other Arkham games are doing it. It's all new actors. So like,
I'm not gonna remember who voiced Clayface in Batman Arkham City. So I
think but you know Kevin Conroy did the voice of Batman. You know Tara Strong did the voice of Harley Quinn.
Oh, good thing.
I did not know who voiced Harley Quinn, but I can leave that up to you, sir. You will always remember who voiced Harley Quinn. I did know about Kevin Conroy though, because Kevin Conroy is Batman.
Rick says there's an Ailstorm song about Tortuga. Now, one thing I'm gonna bring up to you guys, Alex, this might intrigue you. I don't think it will. Zach, I don't know how you feel about this. There's been a new Souls-like game that was announced.
Lies of P.
Lies of P.
So you mean the one about Pinocchio?
Yes.
The cool thing about it is, and they discussed it a little bit more when they did the live panel from the Xbox booth. They kind of explained the weapon system and stuff, and it's going to be different in the sense where you're going to have like a weapon type, and you're going to find different. You can find different pieces to that weapon, and you can actually modify them and throw them together in different combinations. And they'll yield different effects, which is going. I think that's pretty fucking immaculate. Instead of going out and picking up, hey, I just dropped this great sword to pick up this great sword, or I've upgraded this great sword so much, but now I need to go get this one, and I'm gonna lose all the progress that I put into this one. You're like, cool, I picked up this piece, so I can throw this piece on here. Now it's gonna do this, and this.
All right. Rick says as long as Troy Baker is not in Gotham Knights, he's okay with it. No. All right. So, Alex, there is a game here that I wanted to bring your attention to. I don't know if you watched the trailer for it. There's a game called
Yes, you do know if I watched the trailer or not.
Yeah, well, okay. Alex did not watch the trailer for this.
Hey, you do know. You after all these years, you do know me. Like, man, look,
I tagged
tagged
you in this in the Facebook group, so I figured you would go look at
I
it.
don't pay attention to any of these shows at all anymore, which is why I don't really care so much about E3. Is I just don't pay attention.
But I tagged you in the Facebook to tell you that this is the. This is the
you
game
keep your
check out.
hands off, sir, if you're going to keep tagging me.
Anyway, the game's called Where Winds Meet. It's an open world set in medieval China. According to IGN for the article, it says Everstone Games has announced Where Winds Meet, an open world RPG set in the Ten Kingdoms era of medieval China. The reveal trailer shows the game's stunning environments alongside various gameplay elements, including hunting, combat, horseback riding, and more. The game promises a ton of player choice with the ability to join or influence different kingdoms, or literally go in a different direction by becoming a wanderer, a doctor, a merchant, and more. I looked at this and I got really God of War, Ghost of Tsushima, Assassin's Creed, and Horizon vibes out of all this. All those games seem to fit right into this.
You missed one, sir. It literally is. It's feudal Skyrim. That's all it is.
So, Alice,
Feudal Skyrim. Do whatever you want.
I know you haven't watched the trailer, but does that sound like a game that intrigues you at all?
Well, I think that Zach's kind of analogy there to feudal Skyrim is a lot better because it helps you pin down. Because like with all four of those other games, it's kind of like your head's like, well, how the heck does this all fit together? Aside from like open world sandbox play. But personally, I've never, if I had played Skyrim, I might be a little more excited. I've never played Skyrim or any of the Elder Scrolls games. So that doesn't sell it all to me. Although I will say that everyone who's ever talked about Skyrim in my presence has had very, very flowery, nice things to say about that. So I don't doubt that Skyrim's a great game and that one set in feudal China.
Reason you haven't played Skyrim?
Recently the size of it.
Okay.
I mean, I guess I've never been that attached to the Elder Scrolls games, so not having played any of the other ones, like I wasn't jumping at the bit to Skyrim. And after a certain amount of time not playing it, the idea of playing it becomes harder and harder because you've gone so long without it that it just is like, well, I'm not really missing anything, regardless of whether I am or not. It's like Doctor Who. Like Doctor Who, Ashley wants to watch Doctor Who, but I'm willing to, but I'm not, like, I don't have a strong desire to watch it because it's been out for so long and I haven't watched it. So, like, what am I really missing?
All right.
A lot, probably. But
I gave Doctor Who a shot. My wife has watched quite a bit of it and then stopped it. It is kind of on that same fence, but the good thing about Skyrim is then the Elder Scrolls series is they do tie in to a certain extent lore-wise, like country-wise, and like all that stuff like that. But you don't have to understand Morrowind and Oblivion to understand Skyrim. And Skyrim is just a fantastic game, and so you could probably put, if you play just main storyline, you probably put about 25 hours into it, and you'll finish everything you need to do.
All right.
Zach, I would not just focus on main storyline. I would need to do everything.
And then, well, some of the DLC is some of the most fun things too. The vampire DLC is probably one of my favorite. But
hold on. I got some people are saying they'll pay for the Patreon. All right.
Well, hold on real quick before we move on. I do say that I think that honestly in, like, I don't know, maybe this game, I mean, I'll watch the trailer at some point, but I think that something that's more fantasy based like Skyrim would be a little bit more in my league than say something like just set in feudal China. I mean, yes, I do love Ghost of Tsushima, but it's more like, it's not just the fact that it's samurais, it's the fact that the gameplay is fantastic and the world looks just so beautiful. Like it's not just the concept of samurais. So, yeah, I mean
that trailer gave us an overlook and it looks gorgeous. So if you like Ghost, I'm sure you would enjoy the setting and style of this game.
Rick says feudal Skyrim. Interest has peaked. Dupe says play Skyrim. For God's sakes, play Skyrim. Rick wants to know, Alex, do you even game, bro?
What did you say to me? What did you say to me? I mean, I do. It's just, I don't, man. If that's the only thing you're gonna call me out on is like, for my gamer card, it's not playing Skyrim, then I guess I'm doing all right. But
All right.
like, not hate for Skyrim. I just haven't played any of the Elder Scrolls games.
All right. Dupe says, "Fuck Doctor Who, play Skyrim though." And then
It's not a choice of one or the other.
all right, and Rick has a challenge for you, Alex.
Oh god damn it!
Rick says, Patreon level, I'll pay $20 a month for 3 months for Alex to play Skyrim.
Why do we have to bring this up on the show so that?
It's in the chat. You gotta respond to it.
Oh, all
sorry,
right.
that's
Well,
my
how long
fault.
does the platinum take?
Here, let me look up the average.
All right. As Dupe says, he'll pay on the Patreon to recommend games. He'll pay. I'd make Tricky play proper games. Yeah.
Because I know the Loot Bros, they do something like this where the community, if you contribute, you get to pick games that the hosts get to play.
Right.
Oh, wait. We got some more from the chat here. Rick says you would love Skyrim. Dupe says you really would. Dupe says make him do it. Don't feed him until he plays it. Rick says, oh shit, I pissed off Alex. And Dupe says, yeah, Alex is hardcore. And then Neptune Princess comes in and says he feeds himself for the most part.
That's Ashley.
yeah,
Yeah, because sometimes I
why
would
not?
just go out downstairs and like steam up some Brussels sprouts like a weirdo, and Ashley would be like, "What the hell are you eating?"
Dupe says he has all his bases covered. And then Rick says, plat hours, just focus on that. It should really easy, about 20 hours.
Platinum for Skyrim?
No, the platinum for Skyrim takes about. If you want 100% the whole game, it's about 211 hours.
Wow.
All right, I'll be right back while you guys discuss this. I'll be back.
Look, I will think about this. I can't give an honest answer now. Honestly, though, like I appreciate the willingness to like donate, but at the same time, like I would rather people donate to the podcast because they get enough content and they're sated by the content and enjoy the content we put out, rather than me just playing a game. I mean, I figure maybe
if this is your first time playing it, and we can get your thoughts on it, that's a whole separate ball game, That's a little extra content, you'd be getting for doing it. Let's see, PS5, Skyrim, Platinum
because like
Club.
it would be also DLCs too, because they've got released DLC for that game too, right?
So they've had DLC. There's a legendary edition. So yeah, currently on the PS5, there's only 2,754 people that have achieved the platinum. But it's only considered rare, and it's 16.71% of the people that have played the game.
I can't give an answer right now because that is a large chunk of time, and I would have to get the platinum, and probably 100% because if I can get the 100%, I like to. So I can't answer that now, but I'll think about it. Maybe next week I'll give an answer to. But that's a big ass game to devote to, and if I was to play it, I would want to stream as much as I could, to give people my thoughts, and so people who have played it could maybe relive moments that they've played. But yeah, that's a big time investment.
It is, but it's all right. So the first person to achieve the platinum on PS5, it took them 1 day and 3 hours to platinum the game.
1 day and 3 hours. They must not have stopped.
Maybe because to achieve the platinum, you only have to collect the 50 base trophies. You don't have to collect all 75, I believe. I don't think it's counting DLC trophies.
Yeah, DLC trophies are never counted as part of the platinum. Just everything on the disc or on the.
So only 50, which isn't terrible.
All right, I'm back. Some comments from the chat. Ashley says, Rick, it's like you've never met Alex. Rick says...
Technically, he never has. I mean, we podcasted together, but as far as a handshake and a how do you do, that hadn't happened yet.
Rick wants to know who the fuck eats Brussels sprouts on their own. Ashley says...
me, it's like you've never met me.
I do, 110%. They're just baby cabbages.
Ashley says he literally has to finish every shadowy corner of every game or he can't keep existing.
So the little story to this, so I talked to Tricky about this. I called him midweek.
I was about to say, I was wondering if you could tell this story.
So recently, we went to one of our local game shops, our indie game shops. Ashley had bought a copy of Dragon Age Origins to play on the PS3, and we had loaded up and everything, and she just started playing. And I didn't think about it, and like neither one of us thought about it, but she was playing on my account on the PS3, and she earned 2 trophies. Now, luckily, this was not tied to the internet because otherwise, so it wasn't synced. And I just reformatted the PlayStation 3 so I wouldn't get credit for those trophies and then have to play all of Dragon Age Origins to get the Platinum Trophy. But yeah, I had to reformat my PS3 because of a couple accidental platinums that Ashley earned on the console.
Trophies, not platinums.
Oh yeah, trophies. Yes. So.
Yeah. So okay, going back to the comments. Rick says he platted Skyrim in 20 hours. Dupe says the last time he did it was 30-ish. The first time from Rick, the first time was a lot more. Dupe says that's not likely the first playthrough. Well, 100% is a lot more. Ashley says I'd rather he didn't play games I love, to be honest. Ashley says you could help him. Ashley says absolutely not. Rick says he needs to play this game. Dupe says you could teach him the ways of stealthy archer. Ashley says you won't like it and he will complain the entire time. Rick says it's an easy trophy list. Ashley says I also only play caster classes. Rick says if he won't like it, then we don't need to hear about that. Dupe says Alex is a real gamer. I'm guessing he loves Skyrim, but it takes over his life. Rick says I've never met a guy that lives 2,500 miles away from me. Yeah, it's like I've never met a guy that lives 2,500 miles away from him. Ashley says it's like you've never heard him talk about games at length on a weekly podcast.
Look, if there's time, I will consider playing it. If there's time this fall, like Cowabunga Collection's coming out this week, and it's really the only game that I know of that I'm not buying God of War right away. I say that, but
you're gonna buy it right away.
Did you hear about the trophy list for the Cowabunga Collection?
Yeah, I heard. It's okay. So I posted this in Trophy Horse because it's 2 silvers and no. How many? Wait, is it 3? I can't remember. There's like at least 8 gold trophies and a few silvers, and there's no bronze at all. It's all gold and silver and mostly gold. And I was talking to this with Joe, and JT and I were even talking about this because I was curious how they would handle in the backlog beatdown points for this. But Joe was saying to me that you can essentially, there's level select, which is, a good feature if you want to fight a certain boss, but also you can apparently do level select to the end of the game and just beat the game that way and get a trophy. Like apparently, I think JT was saying it's like an under-hour platinum.
Yep.
Which who knows, they may patch that come day one now that they figure that out. But so far I've heard that you can just level select to the end of the game and then beat that and then get the trophy. But yeah, essentially we had to get the Platinum Trophy in Cowabunga Collection, you just have to beat all of the games. That's all you got to do.
All right.
There's no speed runs. There's no stuff like that. No collection. No nothing like that. Just beat the game, and you get a trophy for beating the game, and then you get the Platinum Trophy for beating every game.
Okay. Last things from the chat that we're gonna go through. All I hear from Alex is he's a real gamer. I don't see him not liking one of the greatest games ever. Ashley says you don't even have to buy Skyrim because she owns it on the PS4. Dupe says you have zero excuses. Rick says 3 months at $20. You have 12 months to finish the main quest. Answer next week. Dupe says he'll be disappointed if you hate Skyrim. And then Ashley says that's why I don't want him to play it. I don't think he will like it, and I'll have to move out. Rick says he thinks Dupes will match it. He will match the $20 for the 3 months if Ashley will play Ni no Kuni. All right, we're done with that.
Yeah, if I decide to do it, I will stream as much as I possibly can because I don't think anybody gets anything out of me playing it in my house, in my privacy of my own home, and not seeing me play it. So I figure that's something at the very least I would want to stream.
We could do Skyrim Wednesdays.
Y'all just gonna jump into a chat with me and
and for the love of God, if you play that game, please don't play it in third person mode.
Oh really?
Please don't.
Oh wait,
that hurts my soul every time I see somebody playing it in third person.
May I? Well, Tricky would, but may I ask why?
It just doesn't look good in third person. it doesn't look as good. It doesn't control. It doesn't feel like it controls the same. They did that because after like ESO came out, they saw an influx of people playing Skyrim, and ESO is a third-person MMORPG based in the Elder Scrolls universe. So it's not the cup of tea.
Ah, all right.
Rick,
I
Rick says
know
it's a
playing in first person. That's Tricky's thing.
Yeah, Rick says
Yeah.
it is
Rick
an
said
FPS.
It's an FPS. Yeah.
Yeah, I would only play in third person only because I can't stand first person games.
They make you sick. We know.
No, I just can't control them. All right. Going back to the original article.
Yeah, they make you sick.
We're not even going to talk about the official Pokemon Mini Cooper, which I don't understand at all. And then the last thing they revealed was Dead Island 2 is real, and it's coming out February 3rd.
Yes, give me more.
All right, so that's all of our articles. Rick just says when you stream it, or Dupe says, oh yeah, Rick and Dupe said they both watch you play Skyrim, Alex. Just try to stream it at a reasonable time for the UK.
Gotcha, will do.
All right, so that is going to wrap up the show. We're approaching the 2-hour mark. Let's do some shout outs. Zach, we'll start with you.
Shout out to the thing that stemmed from the Prove It Gamer Network, the Loot Bros podcast. You can check us out wherever you can find Tricky. You can find us. Big shout out to Tricky for having me on tonight. Thank you, Tricky and Alex, for the conversations. I appreciate it. Thank you for all the viewers coming out and chatting with us. Thank you, Rick, for reminding me how handsome I was for the past 2 hours. I appreciate it. Big shout out to my wife for allowing me to take a Sunday, which is not one of my normal days off. A Sunday, which is not one of my normal days to do my thing, and allowing me to podcast with you guys. I appreciate it.
Yes, thank you to her.
Yes. Thank you to all the wives and the girlfriends and the fiancés and all that stuff that allow you guys to join us.
Yeah, it's House of the Dragon Day.
I mean, in all fairness, though, I don't think Alex could have dealt with Tricky by himself for 2 hours.
We've done it.
Or we would have killed each other.
I mean, to be fair, a little behind the scenes, I kind of pissed off Alex before the show even started.
I heard that.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you were on the stream, you would have heard that from the phone.
Oh no, I had it muted, so.
Oh, you didn't have it muted in Skype? I heard that. I heard it loud and clear.
Oh no, you heard it. The Twitch didn't hear it. All right, so Alex, your shout out, sir.
I want to give a shout out to the community, the listeners, the fans, the fuel to the fire, the Trophy Horrors. I mean, we got some of y'all in the chat firing off questions, which is why I love doing this thing in real time with you all and streaming is because people can ask questions, they can comment, and we can get more of you all in the conversation. So definitely think the move to Twitch was a great thing. But thank you for continuing to support the show because it's the entire reason we do it. And we love the community and everything you guys bring to us. Give a shout out to Tricky as well as to Yield, who was celebrating a birthday. Hopefully they had some good cake at that birthday party, and there were no creepy murderous clowns there. And of course, a big shout out to Zach for coming on. Had Zach on now a couple times in the last 6 months, and been a great show every time. So thank you, Zach, for spending some of your time with us.
Of course.
And last but not least, give a shout out to my awesome and loving girlfriend Ashley, who likes Skyrim, and well, you know, I'm sure that we typically her and I. We like different styles of games, although we both seem to like It Takes Two. But who knows? Maybe Skyrim is one of those games that we would both mesh on. So anyway, I love you, hun, and that's going to be the end of the shout-outs.
Alex, are you afraid of clowns?
I'm not afraid of clowns. I don't have that phobia. But again, like John Wayne Gacy was a thing, and no one wants John Wayne Gacy hanging around their kid's birthday party.
The only reason I asked that is because I skipped over one of the games at Gamescom. Killer Clowns from Outer Space is becoming a game.
Yes, I've seen that movie
asked,
before.
No one asked for that. That's all I'm
that
saying. No one
movie's
asked for
what?
this.
Is that from the early 90s or the 80s? Because
80s.
I've
From
seen
the 90s.
No, it's from the 80s.
Is it really?
Yeah.
It was. Yeah. No one asked for this game. Can we just? Can we
Apparently, it's a 3 versus 7 title.
You mean something like you've got kids versus the clowns, and it's kind of like Friday the 13th, where or the Predator game.
For, yeah.
Yeah, take a Friday the 13th. It's just 3 on 7.
Honestly, I want to see how the game turns out because having seen Killer Clowns from Outer Space multiple times and knowing how ridiculous it is, like sure, let's go for it. But I cannot promise that I'm ever going to spend any money on that game because it also sounds ridiculous.
It does sound ridiculous.
We'll do what Friday the 13th did and just wait until it pops up on PlayStation Premium.
I want to give a shout out to all the listeners. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Rick, Dupes, Skins, Ashley, Matt G, everybody in there. If I missed you, I apologize. Thank you very much for joining the chat. Your interactions on Twitch make this more enjoyable to do the show. We get the real-time reactions, as Alex says. Shout out to Sweet Mama D, who starts high school tomorrow. Man, she's making me old. She makes me feel very old. I have a daughter in high school now. That's a little scary. Shout out to all the listeners. Thank you very much. Appreciate you guys showing up. One last thing. Ashley says she apparently showed up to hear you slander Doctor Who, Alex.
I wasn't slandering Doctor Who. I didn't say it was a bad show. I just saying that, I was willing to watch it, but just like I don't know. There's just it's one of those shows that has so much history that like I feel like we got to start from the beginning, even though Ashley says we don't. And it's just super intimidating when you've gone years and years without watching this thing, and then it's like, oh, there's all these seasons and all these episodes. It's not the easiest thing to sit down and start.
You should start from the beginning. I will not agree with her on that. The beginning is way better, and it kind of explains some of the lore that will help you understand the later seasons.
All right. Well, also Tricky, you say that Tweet Mama D going to high school makes you feel old. How do you think it makes us feel podcasting with you for so long? It's like, man, we've been doing this for 10 years, and she was a lot. It's like kids, like people who have kids, like where that I've worked with, my team members at work, like their kids are like graduating high school and stuff. It's like, my God, how long have I been working here?
I started this podcast when she was 2. And,
12 years.
She's gonna be 14 in October. So, all right, let's close out the show. Thank you very much. And if there's nothing else,